Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a tumbler tutorial with a beautiful monarch butterfly design. I'm going to start by prepping my tumbler the same way I always do. I use either between a 60 to 220 grit sandpaper, and I just sand to get all of the shiny bits off any of the areas that I'm going to be epoxying. Once I've got my cup sanded, which should take me less than 60 seconds, I'm going to clean this with some rubbing alcohol and paper towel, and now we're ready to get started. I'm going to be taping off the bottom of my tumbler today using some electrical tape, and I'm going to place one band of tape along the very bottom rim and then run that through my edge trimmer. I will link a different edge trimmer down below in the description box because the one I'm using in this video, they don't sell anymore, unfortunately. But there's one that's just as good, and I'll link it down below. Once I've got that through my edge trimmer, I'm going to remove the excess tape there along the top where it meets the tumbler, and then I'm going to base paint this with a pretty pink. You can use any kind of pink or coral for this glitter color. I'm using Farmer's Daughter from COLORSHOT. Just a nice thin even coat. Once that's dry to the touch, I am going to apply a very thin coat of my Flynn Sisters Fast Cure Epoxy, and that's going to be the adhesive for our glitter today. I only mixed 5 milliliters of epoxy, and I'll probably use all of that for this size cup. Anytime I'm working with a chunkier glitter, I tend to do just a little bit more epoxy on the adhesion layer, just so that my glitter lays a little more flat. Once I got my cup fully coated, I am going to apply my glitter. I'm using Coral Reef from KGD today, and I'm just going to let it rip all over the cup. I kind of like to work in a pattern though, just so I don't make too much of a mess. I also want to make sure that I get full coverage and I didn't miss any spots. Once I got my cup fully coated in glitter, I'm going to aggressively tap off the excess with some scissors up along the top, and then I'm going to remove the electrical tape down along the bottom. Next, I'm going to let this sit to dry for at least 2 hours before moving on to the next step. Your dry times may vary based on the type and brand of epoxy that you're using. I really like to use epoxy method anytime I'm applying glitter because it means I don't have to seal my glitter and everything stays put. Once my glitter is fully dry, I'm going to brush off the excess and just kind of poke off any pieces that are really sticking up. This is what we're left with, and now I'm ready to apply my first coat of epoxy. I've mixed 60 milliliters of my Flynn Sisters Fast Cure, and I'm just going to apply this like I normally would. I don't think it took the full 60 milliliters. I probably used like 40 to 50. But anyway, you want to get nice solid coverage on this, and you'll notice that I didn't tape off the bottom again. I'm just going to wipe off any excess epoxy should it get down there. After I get my epoxy applied and everything's nice and smooth, I'm going to hit it with my torch to pop any remaining bubbles. And I'm going to let this dry for about 4 hours before I move on to the next step. Remember that your dry times may vary based on the type and brand of epoxy that you're using. I let this dry for about 4 hours, and then I went right back over that with a second coat, again with Flynn Sisters Fast Cure, and I let that second coat dry for at least 4 hours again before we moved on to our next step. We're going to be doing some stenciling, so I want to make sure that my cup is totally smooth before we move on to that step. First, I got to do some sanding. I'm going to do my normal rim job. I'm using an 80 grit sandpaper here, and I'm going to sand down to expose a fine line of stainless steel on the very top rim here. This is where our final coats of epoxy will adhere to create the final seal for our tumbler on the outer rim rather than the very top rim where it's more vulnerable. I'm also going to use the same 80 grit to knock down any pokey bits we might have had left over from our glitter. If you're finding you have to do a lot of sanding at this step to get it smooth, I would just forego sanding at this step and go ahead and do a third coat of epoxy if necessary. Once I did all that heavy sanding with an 80 grit, I'm going to go in with a 320 grit or higher to really smooth out any of those sand lines. Because I plan on doing stenciling and spray paint over the top of this and I don't want to do another coat first, I want to really smooth out those sand lines because you will see some of them if they're really deep through the paint when we go to spray paint over this. Once I'm done with my sanding, I'm going to clean this up with some rubbing alcohol and a paper towel, and now we're ready to move on to our next step. The shape I'm using for my butterfly stencil was found in CRICUT Design Space. I used 2 different butterfly shapes, and this is how I contoured them. All we want to be left with is the inner design of the butterfly. I also contoured any of the tiny dots that would be way too tedious to stencil. I'm going to be painting those in later. Wait till the end so you can see what I mean. I'm using just a 4x4 block of transfer tape, and I'm just going to transfer these butterflies kind of in a random pattern all the way around the cup. You'll notice that I cut enough to fill a full 12x12 sheet of vinyl. Most tumblers that we work with will have about a 12x12 span of space to work with, so you want to make sure that you have enough butterflies to fill up the whole thing. I cut them in various sizes ranging from 2 inches to about 3.5 inches. And you, of course, could use any kind of butterfly shape that you are into. Some of them I only did half of the butterflies, so it would just be like half the silhouette to fill in some spaces. And this is more of an abstract design, so it doesn't have to be perfect, and you don't have to have an absolutely perfect pattern. I could not find an already done pattern for a design like this. Maybe there's one on Etsy, or maybe one of you talented folks out there could design one. But I just sort of went with it. I had the idea in my head. I'll show you guys my inspiration. I've had this idea in my head for a really long time, and I'm really excited to finally get around to doing it. I think if I were to do it again, though, I'd probably do like a rainbow glitter color underneath. But I love how this one turned out either way. I'm just using regular permanent vinyl for my stenciling. I don't really care for stenciling vinyl. It doesn't work for me. If you find that your vinyl is leaving behind a lot of adhesive, though, I would make sure that your epoxy was fully cured before you moved on to this step, because epoxy that's not fully cured has a reaction with vinyl adhesive and it just will get stuck. If that happens, you can try to remove some of it with rubbing alcohol on a paper towel after the spray paint, and after you lift the stencil, you can get some of it off. Luckily, though, for me, anytime I have had some adhesive stuck behind, it all disappears under epoxy. Once I got all my stencils applied, I'm going to apply a thin piece of masking tape right below the glitter line, so there's like a fine line of stainless steel exposed, so that I'll have plenty of room to get over the glitter with my paint and none of it will show where it's not supposed to. And I'm going to spray paint this first with just a flat black spray paint. Then I let that dry, and I went over some dots with this purple aromatherapy color from COLORSHOT. I just sprayed it in some random spots, kind of for some interest. If you got a little too much overspray here and there, you can fill in the spots and go back over it with little small spurts of black spray paint. Just remember, the further away you hold your spray paint, the larger the fan, the closer, the smaller the burst. So if you don't want to get too much of that purple spray paint, hold it up closer to your cup, but not so close to where you'll get drips. I hope that makes sense. Also, I'm sorry, I'm incredibly out of the frame for this part. I'm trying to film this in my warehouse. I don't have my spray booth here. So maybe I'll get a spray booth at the warehouse. It'll make it easier for me to show you guys my spray paint process. Anyway, once that spray paint is mostly dry, I'm going to start peeling up my stencil. You can, of course, wait until it's fully dry. I always just get nervous because I'm afraid I'll pull up some paint. So I just wait until it's just dry enough and I start pulling stencils. This was by far the most tedious stencil pull I think I've ever done because of all the little pieces. My hand definitely hurt by the end, but the result was worth it. If I were to do this again, I probably would have picked bigger butterfly pieces and done it that way, just so this part wouldn't have taken me so long. But yeah. My favorite tool to use for this is a dental pick tool. I've been using the same tool for, I think, going on 7 or 8 years now, and it's really my favorite. I've bought one and I've only needed one all this time, and it really works for me. Anyway, here's what we should be left with. Absolutely beautiful. I'm loving it so far. Next, I'm going to do my favorite part, which is add in the little dots on the ends of the wings. And I'm using just a Posca paint marker to do this. And you can go as crazy as you want with these dots. I liked adding more concentrated dots at the top tip and the bottom apex of the wing. I think that's what it's called, just to add some fun detail. And I think that's kind of how their real wings are. Like, they have more dots towards the end. I don't know. Maybe I'm just imagining that. But I thought this detail really pulled it all together and told the story of what this is. You could probably also paint in some antennas and bodies of the butterflies too if you were really talented. I'm not. I can't really do like straight lines and stuff very well, so I just stuck with the dots. But get whimsical with it. I absolutely love this. I think it's so cute. As soon as that was all dry, I was ready to apply a builder layer of epoxy. This is just a layer before putting on the final coat. We have to do another step before this is done. So I've got 30 milliliters of my Flynn Sisters Fast Cure, and I'm just going to apply this like I normally would. Once I got everything nice and smoothed out, I'm going to hit it with my torch to pop any bubbles. I also decided that now would be a good time to add more glitter, so I used that same beautiful coral reef color that we used for our glitter on the base. And using a silicone brush tool, I'm just going to dip it in some of the glitter with a sticky tip from the epoxy, and I'm just going to place some of that chunky glitter here and there along the cup just to add some added detail. I had more like negative space on the cup than I had initially planned for, so adding in this glitter just kind of topped it all off and pulled it all together. I let that dry for at least 4 hours before we moved on to this next step. It's really important that since we painted all the way to the top that we sand down again. A lot of you may be wondering why I would have sanded down the rim at the glitter layer and then again at the paint layer. That's because we needed to sand down the glitter layer enough first so that when we go to sand down this paint layer, which is now at the very top rim where it would compromise our final seal, when I sand that down again, I want to make sure I have enough clearance so that I don't accidentally sand down through that paint so much that it exposes the top part of that glitter, because that would make our top rim look kind of messy. This makes for a much more finished looking rim, and all you see is that fine line of stainless steel and where the paint line starts. Once I've exposed that fine line of stainless steel up along the top rim, I'm going to clean it with some rubbing alcohol and a paper towel. Exposing this fine line of stainless steel up at the top, we're allowing for our final coats of epoxy to adhere to the outer rim of our tumbler rather than the very top rim where it's more vulnerable. Now I'm ready to finally apply my final coats of epoxy. For this layer, I'm using 30 milliliters of my Flynn Sisters Artist Cure. I've already cleaned up my cup with some tack cloth to make sure there's no debris, and I'm going to apply this like I normally would, just making sure everything's nice and smoothed out. You'll notice for every layer since the glitter layer, I haven't taped off my bottom again, and that's because every time I would apply a layer of epoxy, I would just make sure to clean off any excess and make sure it's not anywhere it's not supposed to be. Once I got this layer applied, I'm going to hit it with my torch to pop any bubbles, and I'm going to let this dry probably for about 10 to 12 hours before we're totally done. Remember that your dry times may vary based on the type and brand of epoxy that you're using. All right, and that's it for this tutorial. I hope you guys loved it. I'll show you guys what it looks like here. I didn't have time to fully finish this one out and wait for it to completely dry before I showed you the final cup, because I'm in a hurry this week, but look at how beautiful, so perfect. I really love this design. I wish I can do it again, and I probably will in a different kind of version, maybe with some different colors. But this one turned out so beautiful. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I upload new videos every week. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. If you love this video, you could check out our last video here. Also be sure to find us on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and of course subscribe for all our new videos that come out every Wednesday and Saturday. Thanks so much for watching. See you soon.